1. California's green energy grid in crisis. New federal hurdles explained. 2. How Trump's big beautiful bill could increase electricity costs in your state. 3. Ending market distorting subsidies, a new energy policy. 4. Trump's tax bill to raise energy costs most in red states. 1. California's green energy grid in crisis. New federal hurdles explained. In a shocking turn of events, California's ambitious plans to fully transition its electric grid to clean energy sources like wind and solar power have hit a major roadblock. The recent sweeping budget law signed by President Trump has imposed new deadlines for federal tax credits and restrictions on using foreign components for clean energy projects. This could potentially delay or even cancel 11 major solar projects and one onshore wind project across the state. But here's where it gets controversial. While the changes aim to save the federal government a whopping $499 billion from 2025 to 2034, critics argue it jeopardizes up to 35,700 solar jobs and 25 solar manufacturing facilities in California. Proponents of clean energy maintain that despite the setbacks, solar and storage remain the fastest and most affordable way to meet the state's growing energy demands. The federal changes add uncertainty that could chill investment in California's massive floating offshore wind farms. However, experts believe it's not a death knell for the industry, as the projects weren't set to seek federal permits or generate electricity for several years anyway. In the long run, these federal changes could drive up energy costs for Californians. The California Energy Commission warns that the repeal of tax credits will result in higher future electricity rates for customers. With utility bills already a major political headache, this adds another challenge for clean energy advocates. So, do you think the federal government's move to curtail clean energy subsidies is a step in the right direction or a short-sighted job killer? Will it discourage other states from following California's lead in transitioning to cleaner, cheaper, and more reliable electricity? Voice your thoughts in the comments below. 2. How Trump's big beautiful bill could increase electricity costs in your state. The next decade could see a significant rise in electricity costs across all U.S. states, and the reason might surprise you. While many believe that energy policies aim to clean up our environment and promote sustainable options, the reality, according to recent analysis, suggests that the implementation of President Donald Trump's so-called "a big beautiful bill" could actually lead to higher bills for ordinary Americans. But here's where it gets controversial. Some critics argue that these projected increases might be overstated or that alternative policies could combat rising energy costs more effectively. This bill, signed into law on July 4th, pushes for expanded leasing of oil and natural gas resources. At the same time, it limits subsidies for renewable energy sources and rolls back tax credits that made wind, solar, and other clean power options more affordable for both manufacturers and consumers. Robbie Orvis, Senior Director for Modeling and Analysis at Energy Innovation, a nonpartisan think tank dedicated to energy and climate issues, explains that once the clean energy tax credits phase out at the end of 2025, electricity prices are expected to climb for everyday Americans. The core of the issue is that decreasing support for clean energy infrastructure will likely slow down the expansion of renewable power sources, just as U.S. energy demand reaches new heights. The result? Higher electricity bills combined with a growing dependence on natural gas, which will also become more expensive due to increased demand. This scenario raises the question: how much will your energy costs actually go up? According to the analysis, the magnitude of cost increases will vary notably from state to state, especially in areas with greater potential for developing clean energy. For example, Oklahoma, known for its wind-rich environment, has historically benefited from cheap, clean energy. However, without incentives for new wind power projects, its average household electricity bill could rise by as much as $540 by 2035. Overall, the study predicts that household energy expenses nationwide could grow by approximately $170 per year by that time, a figure that might even underestimate the true impact, as Princeton University's Rapid Energy Policy Evaluation suggests the increase could reach around $280 annually. What's driving these rising costs? The analysis factors in nearly a dozen clean energy incentives introduced during the Biden administration that the new legislation either terminates or phases out. It also compares two future scenarios, one where the bill passes and one where it doesn't, accounting for changes in spending on all energy sources used in homes and transportation, such as natural gas and gasoline, though most of the cost hikes are linked to electricity and natural gas. Here's an eye-opening look at projected annual increases in household energy costs across every state by 2035, numbers that could spark debate and concern. Alabama, $200. Arkansas, $430. Arizona, $220. California, $320. Colorado, $310. Connecticut, $150. Delaware, $150. Florida, $430. Georgia, $270. Iowa, $350. Idaho, $130. Illinois, $180. Indiana, $340. Kansas, $380. Kentucky, $630. Louisiana, $440. Massachusetts, $120. Maryland, $350. Maine, $80. Michigan, $320. Minnesota, $410. Missouri, $640. Mississippi, $200. Montana, $240. North Carolina, $490. North Dakota, $180. Nebraska, $250. New Hampshire, $110. New Jersey, $220. New Mexico, $220. Nevada, $320. New York, $170. Ohio, $190. Oklahoma, $540. Oregon, $140. Pennsylvania, $160. Rhode Island, $180. South Carolina, $630. South Dakota, $120. Tennessee, $190. Texas, $480. Utah, $320. Virginia, $250. Vermont, $100. Washington, $55. Wisconsin, $300. West Virginia, $160. Wyoming, $150. So, are you prepared for potential increases in your energy bills? Or do you believe these costs are exaggerated and that alternative policies could better manage future expenses? Share your thoughts in the comments. This is a debate that definitely deserves more attention. 3. Ending market distorting subsidies. A new energy policy. Here's a harsh truth. US taxpayers have been footing the bill for expensive, unreliable energy projects that threaten our grid, environment, and national security. It's time to ask, why are we paying to fund energy sources controlled by foreign nations that fail to deliver when we need them most? This executive action turns the page on a flawed era of subsidies for wind and solar power, prioritizing energy independence and domestic reliability over foreign dependency. *** reforming energy subsidies, ending incentives for unreliable, foreign-dependent energy sources ***. By the authority vested in me as President, I hereby order. *** Section 1. A new energy vision ***. For years, federal policies have funneled taxpayer dollars into wind and solar projects that crowd out affordable, always available energy sources like coal and natural gas. These policies jeopardize grid stability, scar natural landscapes, and leave us vulnerable to supply chains manipulated by foreign adversaries. Ending this subsidy addiction isn't just about saving money. It's about reclaiming energy dominance and national sovereignty. Section 2. 3 core policy goals ***. 1. Priority 1. Phasing out taxpayer handouts to green energy schemes ***. Stop market distortions created by government subsidies that artificially prop up expensive, inconsistent energy sources. 2. Priority 2. Strengthening the One Big Beautiful Bill Act ***. Build on recent legislation that began dismantling tax credits for wind and solar by closing loopholes and enforcing stricter compliance. 3. Priority 3. Cutting ties with foreign-controlled energy ***. Terminate U.S. financial support for energy projects built and operated by nations hostile to our interests, particularly in supply chains. Section 3. Tough enforcement by the Treasury ***. The Treasury Department will strictly enforce 2 key actions within 45 days. Terminate tax breaks ***. End IRS credits under Sections 45Y and 48E for wind and solar projects, including new rules to prevent beginning of construction loopholes, e.g., pseudo-starts that claim benefits without real progress. Crackdown on foreign entities enforce enhanced restrictions in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act to block adversarial nations from exploiting U.S. energy incentives. Section 4. Interior Department Audit ***. Within 45 days, the Department of Interior must 1. Identify regulations that unfairly favor wind and solar over reliable fuels. 2. Revise these policies to create a level playing field. 3. Ensure no preferential treatment in resource allocation or permitting. Section 5. Accountability measures ***. Both agencies must submit detailed reports to the President within 45 days outlining their progress, challenges, and next steps. Transparency matters. The public deserves to know how their money is being protected. Section 6. Legal protections ***. This order doesn't limit existing agency authorities, operates within existing laws and budgets, creates no new legal entitlements for anyone, assigns publication costs to the Treasury Department. White House, July 7, 2025. The debate begins ***. But here's where it gets controversial. Should we prioritize short-term subsidy-driven green energy goals or long-term energy independence? And this is the part many ignore. If we keep funding foreign control projects, aren't we just financing our own economic decline? We want to hear from you. Should U.S. taxpayers bankroll energy sources that undermine our reliability and security? 4. Trump's tax bill to raise energy costs most in red states. The rising cost of electricity is a ticking time bomb for many Americans, especially those in red states. While President Trump promised to lower energy costs, the reality is far from that ideal. In fact, his tax bill is set to increase energy bills significantly, with the biggest impact felt by those who voted for him. As the summer heat waves intensify, so do the concerns over rising energy costs. The Republican-backed legislation, which Trump proudly dubbed the Big, Beautiful Bill, is poised to raise electricity rates across the country. But here's where it gets controversial. The bill's impact will be felt most acutely in states that supported Trump in the last election. According to Energy Innovation, a leading energy and climate policy think tank, the legislation will strip away support for renewable energy sources like solar and wind. This will result in electricity rates rising by as much as 18% by 2035, with households and businesses bearing the brunt of these increases. The report finds that by 2035, the average household energy costs, including electricity and gas, will increase by $170 annually. And this is the part most people miss. It's the Republican-leaning states that will suffer the most. Missouri, for instance, will see a staggering $640 annual increase in energy bills, while other Trump-supporting states like Kentucky, South Carolina, Oklahoma, North Carolina, and Texas will also face significant hikes. Trump's promises to lower energy costs and reduce inflation seem to have fallen short. Instead, his administration has focused on boosting fossil fuel consumption while slashing incentives for clean energy projects. He even went as far as barring clean energy projects from federal lands. But here's the real kicker. The Republican bill's elimination of tax credits for renewables will hinder the development of wind and solar projects, which are now often cheaper than gas or coal. This will force utilities to rely more heavily on inefficient gas generators, further driving up energy costs, especially in states without their own renewable energy policies. Demand for electricity is on the rise, and without renewables, we simply can't meet that demand, says Dan O'Brien, a senior analyst at Energy Innovation. Lower-income folks in rural areas, especially in red states, will be hit hard by this bill. Their states voted for it, but in the long run, it will harm them significantly. Environmental groups are outraged by the Republican-backed bill. Lena Moffat, Executive Director of Evergreen Action, a climate change advocacy organization, calls the legislation one of the most catastrophic bills in a generation. She adds, after an election where cost of living was a driving issue, it's mind-boggling that Republicans would pass a bill that will raise costs across the board. Electricity prices have already been rising above the rate of inflation since 2022, with new data centers for artificial intelligence contributing to the increased demand for power. This places even more strain on energy-insecure individuals and households who struggle to pay their energy bills. In 2020, over 34 million households, more than a quarter of all dwellings in the U.S., reported difficulties in paying their energy bills. A lot of people are struggling, and it's a hardship that often goes unnoticed, says Michelle Graff, an energy policy expert at the Georgia Institute of Technology. Lower-income individuals, as well as those who are Black, Hispanic, elderly, have young children, or live in poorly constructed and insulated homes, are most at risk of energy insecurity. Even an extra $10 on their bill each month can result in difficult choices for these folks, like sacrificing medicines or food for their families, a Graff explains. Increasing those bills month after month will have a significant impact on households already on the brink. While some states regulate electricity price rises and offer assistance to residents struggling to pay their bills, the federal government is now pulling back on such support. The Trump administration is seeking to eliminate the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHAP, which aids around 6 million U.S. households with their energy bills. The reconciliation bill also removes subsidies for the construction of energy-efficient homes and upgrades to home cooling, heating, and insulation systems. LIHAP is a lifeline for many Americans, a Graff emphasizes. It's a mismatch where the hardships are worsening, yet we're cutting assistance to address those very hardships. Utilities across the country have already pushed for $29 billion in higher rates this year, which is 142% more than the same period in 2024. And in at least 16 states, utilities are allowed to cut off power to people during extreme heat waves if they haven't paid their bills. Such cutoffs can be deadly, as was the case last month when Shauna Thomas, a 55-year-old woman, was found dead in her hot St. Louis, Missouri, apartment after her electricity was shut off for non-payment. Air conditioning and access to electricity are life-saving, but most states offer very limited protections against these shutoffs, says Diana Hernandez, a researcher of energy and health inequities at Columbia University. People are afraid to use their AC due to high bills. It's easy to get into a debt spiral and hard to get out of it. This can become a matter of life and death. Extreme heat is the leading weather-related cause of deaths in the US, with rising global temperatures due to fossil fuel burning causing longer and more intense heat waves. This summer is expected to be hotter than usual, with the increased demand for cooling putting a strain on the grid in some areas. In June, over 110,000 people in New York City lost power due to a surge in electricity use during a heat wave. In the hottest parts of the country, prolonged power blackouts could be catastrophic. A 2023 study warned that if a prolonged heat wave and a blackout were to hit Phoenix, Arizona, at the same time, half of the city's 1.6 million residents would require urgent medical attention, and 1% of the population would die. Climate change is here, and as it gets hotter, people will face increasing hardships in keeping cool, Hernandez says. It used to be that energy access was a winter concern to keep people warm, but that has changed. With each passing hotter year, this problem persists. The White House has been contacted for comment on these developments.